this is how I find all my ideas. This is how I start to conceptualize in my mind which directions I can go in, and this is the stage that I do before any sketching. So the first part of any particular client process, after they've paid, after they've signed their contracts and all of that lovely jazz, don't forget I did a free client process freebie giveaway. It's on my website, so if you want to see my entire client process, go grab that. It's free. It costs you fuck all, mate. So obviously what I've done at this stage is I've already had a long discovery call with Cole. We've talked about his needs, we've made notes, and I've gone through all the bits and pieces. He's sent me a load of different bits and pieces, and I've highlighted all of the bits and pieces, and we've kept on chatting about the bits and pieces. And then what I've done is anybody that knows me or knows me well enough will know that I love a good word map. This is how I find all my ideas. This is how I start to conceptualize in my mind which directions I can go in, and this is the stage that I do before any sketching, before any creativity. This is where I find all my ideas. So this is the word map that I created for this particular project, Think Less, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk you through it so you can start to understand how this brain works, which is interesting. So I'm just going to zoom in to make it a little bit easier. What I always tend to do is I like to always kind of go with 9 different points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't like to overthink too many things, but what I'm trying to do is, out of my conversations, out of any notes that we've made, out of any documentation I've got, I'm trying to pull 9 things, 6, 9, maximum 12, usually 9, things that I resonated with, things that I can visualize, things that I think really hit home the company essence, the brand essence, the identity, their story, their personality. Because what I'm trying to do now, as I head into that kind of creative, visionary stage of stuff, is that I'm trying to build a system in my mind, logos, colours, where do all these things come from? Fonts, font pairing strategies, layouts, design systems, all of that cool shit. So let's go into here. So I always start with the company name at the top, and I'm thinking, right, what does this mean? They actually did have an existing kind of true line: think less, do more. So automatically, I'm thinking, okay, nice. What does that mean to me? How can I use that? So when I think less, I think minimal, simple, not complicated. When I think of the word think, I'm thinking of ideas, sparks, brain, I could probably add things like light bulb to that. So anything that I associate with the word think. And then I'm also what does the word less mean to me? So think, I'm kind of down here, and then less, I'm kind of over here, and I'm thinking what symbolizes less? Well, the minus sign symbolizes less, but there's also the kind of backwards crocodile mouth, whatever you want to call it, that also means less. So obviously this is more, this is less. Do you know what I mean? In symbology, I think it's a mathematical term. Algebra. I don't think it's algebra, but it's something in and around that. But this symbol here signifies less. So I'm okay, it kind of looks like an L. Not too sure what I'm going to do, but maybe we could use that. And as we kind of go along, trust your gut. That was something that was very, taking risks, trust your gut. Lots of their design philosophies were kind of in and around, breaking free, no rules, trust your gut, respect. Do you know what I mean? So this was something that I highlighted here. So I'm thinking like, trust your gut. What does trust your gut mean to me? Well, I understand what it means to them. It means think less, do more. Trust your gut means to me is like that bubbly gut we talked about, isn't it? You know, focus on what works. Don't overthink it. What is my design philosophy for this particular project? If theirs is think less, do more, should that be my design philosophy too? Like, should I be overthinking this design? Like, should it be super simple? Like, these were the things that were kind of going through my mind. Can I use think less as almost my personal way of pushing this in the right direction? So here we got taking risks. Type and symbol I put here. Sorry, this has been a long time since I looked at this. Does this align with them? What does taking risks align with them? Interesting. So that's what I was thinking. Taking risks. I'm thinking, right, maybe, possibly there's an opportunity for quirky layouts, breaking rules, give them many options, layered visual systems. Like, these were some of the things that I was obviously thinking, was like, how can I take risks with this word mark, with this logo type? How can I build that into a risky visual system? How far can I push this? How much fun can I have? You know, as storytellers, do you know what I mean? What are we going into here? Logo to narrate, font pairings to add and not distract. That's what I put here. Make it easy for them to tell stories. Colour, warm, empathetic, because these are some of the things we talked about over here. Values, empathy, trust, breaking free, trust your guts. There's all sorts of stuff in this here. So this is where I was thinking with the storytelling, is like building, you know, every story has a beginning, a middle and an end. Like, how can we add this energy to the word mark, to the visual system and all the rest of it? Responsive options. This was something that was really key to them and was one of the main reasons. And when we talk about goals and objectives, one of the objectives within this particular project from Cole was that their existing logo didn't really work everywhere. So they needed like a responsive system within their logo type word mark that allowed it to work like centrally, left justified, right justified, central, kind of vertically, horizontally. So I needed to think about that, you know, because I had to work in Dex, animation, web, you know. So these ideas of having more options, like getting it to do more, think less, do more. How can I make a simple logo do more was what I was thinking. Loved looking back on these. Breaking free was something, again, like it goes with this taking risks, breaking free, no rules, trust your gut, go against the grain, challenge the status quo. That was something that they said up here, which was one of their important... Where was that? Let me find that. They talked about going against the status quo. Going against the status quo. I can't quite find that right now, but trust me, it was in there. So then we kind of go into like some key words that I really enjoyed when we were chatting. Empower, fun, reshape. So I'm thinking like a combination of these three. How can I create a logo, a word mark that empowers them to communicate? How can I create a word mark logo type that's fun? How can I create a logo type word mark that reshapes or has this essence of reshaping, these no rules, quirky layouts, you know? And what we start to see is like, this is what is beautiful about these word maps for me, is I start to see like strong relationships between things that keep coming up. So quirky layouts, no rules comes up a lot. Options comes up a lot, you know, because of how it needs to work responsively. You know, easy to use. Empower through colour, empower through options, empower through systems. Like, how can I give them all of these options and these quirky layouts that allow them to do all of the things they need to do? This, for me, is the power of word mapping. This for me is the power of kind of conceptualizing through words, like using words to find other words, like how do words make me feel? Like when we talk about essence, personality traits, this is where I find them. This is where I dig deep, when I align them with clarity discussions and discovery sessions, when we're going through all of our clarity documents, our brief documents, and I'm figuring out all this word map sizzle. This is where all of the goodness is kind of lying. So right now I'm thinking, right, we're going to lean into a logo type. It'd be cool to have like different layout options. It'd be cool to maybe integrate some sort of symbol, but in a subtle way, so it's predominantly a logo type with maybe an added element. I want to go against the grain. I don't want to overthink it. I want to have fun. I want to empower my client. I want to empower Cole and Think Less to be able to have fun, do more with it, and build their own rules ultimately. So these are the things, including taking risks, are the things that I will now talk you through in my sketch process. So if you don't word map, word map. If you do word map, well done.